yoga brick in this sequence, and we're just going to do a little flow sequence through some poses, focusing on reaching the arms up above our head, so that overhead range of motion through the shoulders, and focusing on doing that with a more neutral trunk, with a sense that the lower ribs are staying a little bit contained, the rib cage over the pelvis, rather than kind of a default when the arms go up, the ribs pop forward and there's a hinge in the middle of the back. So that's what we're going to be focusing on as we go through this sequence. So starting at the top of your mat, just hold your brick really firmly. You can use a book if you don't have a brick. And then firming through your legs, just start to reach your brick up above your head. And again, we're watching that as the firming happens around your hips, squeezing your glutes perhaps. Just feel that containment of your rib cage down. And as you breathe, feel like you're going to glue your brick up onto the ceiling, reaching up, up, up. You could do a little shimmy to one side, a shimmy to the other side, reach back up in the center. And just feel like you're elongating yourself up, your arms are really straight. They might be a little further forward as you work to keep the ribs down. So it doesn't matter if the arms are a little bit further forward, just find as much lengthening up as you can. One more breath there. As you exhale, hinging from your hips, start to bend forward, reaching your brick forward, keeping those ribs in, and let your hands drop to the mat. From there, step your left leg back into the lunge and come on up to your high lunge. You can inhale your way up if you want to. And same thing, this is a really easy position to hinge in the back, so maintain a slightly straighter position, bend in the back knee to tip your pelvis a bit straighter, reaching your brick up, start to bend your back knee. Might be a little bit, you might tap your knee to the mat, and straighten up on the inhale. Exhaling, lowering your knee, pushing your brick up, coming back up, keeping those ribs in. Let's do 2 more. From there, start to lean forward, knee over foot, and see if you can hold that position, pushing your brick forward, putting your rib cage in. One more breath there. And then from there, lowering your brick back down and swivel to a wide leg forward bend. I'm going to show you sideways on. Have your brick the highest height, find a flat back, and reach your left arm forward. Reaching the thumb up to the ceiling, spiraling your arm into internal rotation down by your waist, reach it up behind you, re-spiral to external rotation, thumb pointing to the ceiling and down. Let's do one more like that. Trying to keep your sternum pointing straight down to the mat, not letting that whole left side lift up. Down, let's do one more for good luck. As much movement from that shoulder joint as you can find. Down, release your brick, have a little forward bend down. Full breath into the back ribs. Hands to waist and hip hinge your way up. And we'll take the brick again in the same flat hand, put the brick balanced on that flat left hand, legs wide still. And then start with your hand forward, reach it all the way up above your head. Spiral your hand so your fingertips point behind you and reach up through that side. Spiral your fingertips forward again and lower back down. Just feeling movement through that shoulder joint, ribs stay contained down. Okay, and then from that contained position, again, just practicing that overhead position with the trunk more neutral. You can feel that tone in the tummy. And then from there, we're just going to focus a little bit on movement through the shoulders. So you could bend your knees, come down to halfway, spin your brick in, all the way up and round again. Go back the way you came. So you're spinning into internal rotation and then all the way back. And just do that a couple of times. Trying to keep your fingers together so you're balancing the brick on your hand as your focus, and then then just finding all this movement through the arm, feeling your shoulder joint moving lots of different ways. You can get creative, see what happens, but you're just feeling how many ways you can move your shoulder, keeping your brick balanced. Let's do one more. And then from there, bring your brick down, spin back to your lunge, step back to down dog, have a little pedal. Lower to your knees, reach your left arm forward again, pulling that thumb up to the ceiling, and again come into the articular rotation through your shoulder. Just taking your time, trying not to let the left shoulder lift up. Once you've done one, you can try one with the brick balanced on your lower back. It just kind of helps you check in with how much movement is happening in the rest of your body, keeping that brick balanced. And take the brick off. Let's come back to a down dog. And in your down dog this time, so we've done a few more movements with the left shoulder. Just see if there's any difference in your awareness between your left shoulder, your left arm and the right. Maybe even down into the left side of your body to your hips. Just breathing along there. Mine feels longer. From there we'll exhale to plank. I'm going to lower to the knees, pull your shoulders to your waist, start to bend your elbows to bring your hips closer to the mat, and then we're going to lower down hips, tummy, chest. Roll your shoulders back, feel them pull down towards your waist, chest up, tummy up, hips up, pushing through the hands back to a child's pose and breathe. From there we're going to come back to down dog, bend your knees and just have a little hop in the air and clap your feet together. Do that a couple of times. Just feeling the weight shifting to your shoulders as you lift up. And then we'll hop to the top of the mat and have a forward bend, head down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. Finding that elongation again through your trunk rather than a little bit of a back bend. Let's see how it feels to focus on lengthening up through the sides as the feet ground down, fingertips can reach up. And then bring your palms together, exhale, your hands down the front. Okay, let's try all of that to the second side. I'll talk you through the second side. I'm going to do the same side so it's easier to show you. So we're going to start holding the brick, and as you reach your brick up, keeping your ribs feeling contained rather than popping forward. So your brick might end up a little bit in front of you rather than all the way up over your head. Find a little bit of a squeeze through your glutes, firm your legs for support. So you're rooting down as you reach up. Connecting with that breath right around your ribs. As you inhale, you might feel a little bit more reach up. Keeping those ribs firming. And when you're ready, hinging at your hips, pulling the ribs in a little as you come forward. Press the brick down into the mat. Then from there, pick up your right foot and step it back into the lunge. And come on up again, pushing your brick forward. Start to reach up. Before the ribs pop forward, bend your back knee a little, find a tilt. Reaching up and then just dropping down at any amount. Coming back up again. As you exhale down, push your brick up to the ceiling. Really feeling the firming through your arms. Do two more like that. Should feel quite a lot of work in your shoulders. Last one, front knee bent, lean forwards. Can you find that containment through your ribs, pushing the brick forward? For 3, 2, 1, lowering the brick down. Swivel to your wide leg forward bend. Put the brick under your left hand, reach your right arm forward this time. So I'll show you again sideways on. And then from there, just set your position. The knees can be as bent as you like. You're finding that flat back position, reaching your arm forward, pulling your thumb up to the ceiling. Push down through the brick with the hand on the brick. Start to internally rotate your top arm, bringing it down behind you, reaching it up again, spiral and pull forward. And you'll notice your body wants to turn to the side of it, so resist that. Keep facing the floor and do 3. Last one, reaching the thumb up, spiraling in, lots of movement in the shoulder joints, feel all the muscles around that joint working, and then down, come into a forward fold. Any way you like, bent knees, straight arms. Just finding full slow breaths. It's nice to connect to the full breath after the intensity. Okay, from there let's swivel back to the lunge at the top of the mat, so making your way there, and plant your handstand, step back to a down dog, just briefly exhale to your plank and drop back down to your knees. And then we're going to do the same arm curls in tabletop position. Does it feel harder? Does it feel different in some way? Just check out the difference between doing it in the wide leg standing position. So you're going to reach up through your right arm this time, keep your sternum facing the mat and spiral in. Just taking your time, watch where you tend to rush the movement because it can feel a little bit sticky or uncomfortable. Reaching up, spiraling in and pulling back. If it feels painful or pinching in any way, you back off from that sensation certainly. But otherwise, really using all those front body muscles to firm in. You might be doing the brick on the back like we did on the other side. Last one. Okay, now after we've done that work with the right shoulder, pull back to your down dog. How's that feeling now on the right side? Do your arms feel a little bit more even? Smooth breaths. Exhaling to your plank, lowering to your knees. And then same thing, hands might be a little bit further forward and pull your shoulder blades down your back, start to bend your elbows. When you're close enough, just let those hips drop down. It's not a big lower back hinge because you're halfway there. And then the tummy, and then your chest. Roll your shoulders back and down, let your chest lift up, really pushing through your hands for your tummy to come up, your hips come up, and pull back to your child's pose. You might rest your elbows there, just taking a breath or two. And then coming back to your down dog. From your down dog, take your right leg up, lunge through. From there, take your arms wide. And as your arms go wide, palms face the ceiling and reach up. Think of lengthening up through your sides. And does that make it easier to focus more on an elongated position rather than a back bending position? Breathing there. From there, come into warrior 2. Take your forearm down and reach the top arm up and over, side angle pose. For this one, you could also use your brick, either inside or outside your foot as you reach up. And then from there, just feel how you're in that arm overhead position again on the left side. And just notice what your rib cage is doing. Are you slightly arching your chest forward in this movement, in this shape? How would it feel to kind of contain your ribs a little and reach your hand up towards the ceiling in front of you? So it's more of a elongating along the side position. Full breathing there. And then from there, rotate. Step back to your down dog. And let's do side angle to the other side. So it's your left leg up, stepping on through, coming on up, arms wide, lengthen up from your waist, from your hips up, going a little bit more vertical, and then from there rotating to warrior 2, taking the forearm down or hand to the brick. And reaching your arm, possibly even a little bit forward. You could even scoop your arm absolutely out to the side forward and then up and over your head. So just feeling your shoulder blade protracting to the side and then reaching up. So different ways to explore finding this extension up through the arm, through the shoulder, through the side, without the spine necessarily arching. Containing the ribs. Smooth breath. Finding that lovely line from that outside edge of your back foot up to your fingertips. And then turning back down to the mat. Stepping back again. And let your knees lower down. And find your child's pose.